Are you suffering in silence? Are you going through something right now, like, friends aren't paying attention to it, family's really not there for you, or you just feel like nobody truly understands what you're going through, and you're just like kind of like frustrated, upset, or hurt, or you just kind of feel like, hey, listen, man, I'm the victim here. Why isn't somebody coming to my rescue? This is the video for you. You don't want to miss out. But before we get started, I want to let you guys know, if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing. We focus in on 3 different areas: physical, mental, and spiritual health, a full systematic approach to you becoming the best version of yourself. So like always, let's get started. Let you know, I can definitely relate to you if you have dealt with like suffering in silence. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of people out there that are like obviously suffering. For example, today I was at the farmer's market and I was walking by a guy and he had no legs completely and he was going through a lot of pain, and a lot of people were coming to help him. They were like, hey, listen, can I help you in any way? They would talk to him, they would laugh with him. And it was actually filling his cup up because he was feeling the love. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you don't have something that is so noticeable to where people actually understand that you're suffering. And sometimes no matter how much you squeal, sometimes no matter how much you hurt, sometimes no matter how much you're in pain, they just don't get it, or they don't show that they're getting it. So it got me thinking. I was like, you know what, when this guy leaves today from the farmer's market, wherever he might go, like, does he have somewhere to sleep? He was in a wheelchair. How does his days look? How do his tomorrows look? And it just kind of like really weighed heavy on my heart. And it was one of those things that, like, my pastor at church said, that sometimes like we get called to help people, like, that week or that weekend, and we all of a sudden run to kind of like help and do something for that person that you may know that is hurting. And what happens is from there is we kind of forget that that person continues to keep on going through that hurt. People are suffering in silence. We need to pay a little bit more attention because it's not obvious to many, so they don't get as much help. But those that are hurting, if they reach out to you, remember, and this is just coming from personal experience of like me trying to help people even when I've been going through things, you want to try to give as much help as you possibly can to those that are suffering in silence, because maybe they don't like reaching out and kind of like putting their problems and pain on you, so they just keep it in. And if you continue to keep it in, it's one of those things where the pain continues to keep on building and the suffering continues to keep on going. A little easy tip to remember is if somebody is hurting and they're going through something, like they start to act a little bit different from what you actually remember them being. So if they start acting completely different, a bit more standoffish, a little bit more silent, a little bit more to themselves, you have to remember, they're like, oh man, like there's something up. Let me talk to them. Let me just have a kind of little powwow. And when you sit down with them, just be genuine. Say, hey, listen, man, I'm kind of concerned about you. Like, what's going on? Is there any way I can help? Is there anything I could do? Because, like, I want to get you back to like who you used to be, vibrant and fun and loving and happy. And I truly believe that, like, when you show them that you care and you love and they feel that support, they will open up to you and let you know what is going on. And it will just be a win-win, because you'll be helping somebody that is hurting get out of that suffering and silence that they're going through. But to you that are suffering, I want you to understand that it does get better, okay? And you're probably like, okay, well, that's a really positive, encouraging word, Justin. It gets better. I hope it gets better, because if not, I'm ready to check out. It gets better in the sense that, like, that suffering continues to bring pain, and pain pushes you to purpose, and the stronger you get. It's one of those things, I always hear David Goggins say it, as this pain continues to keep on coming, you just start looking at pain, you're like, listen, you're not going to do nothing to me. You're going to tell that pain what to do, because you start becoming almost like you have a relationship with this pain, with this suffering. And you start just saying, hey, listen, I'm not going to live like this. Like, your mindset, as long as you're meditating on the right things, you're holding on to like that hope, you're staying positive, you're suffering and you feel frustrated that nobody gets it, try not to let it get to you. As soon, like, that was one of my biggest problems. I kind of felt like, like I was sharing with certain people, like, man, like I'm going through this and I'm going through that, and they weren't responding how I felt like they should respond. Remember, that's up to them, that's their journey, and you never know, like, their day may come and they may feel what you're feeling right now. I hope that that doesn't happen, but if it does, remember, just all you can do is take care of what you can take care of. Give it your best, leave it to God, and don't let that frustration stop you or add to the suffering that you're already going through. I truly believe that suffering and that pain that you're going through and all that hurt is going to lead you to what God has planned and in store for your life. And all that suffering and pain is going to be totally worth it, 100%, just like it says inside the word, okay? He gives us double for our trouble, so hold on to that. So once again, this is for people that may not understand, those that are suffering in silence. You always want to try to be there for them if you can. And those that are suffering, remember that suffering is going to push you into purpose. He is going to be the one that's going to lead you out. And when you feel like you have absolutely nobody, if that's the case, just remember to look up. And when you can look up, you can get up, like Les Brown says. So here we are, we're at the top of where it all started, okay? When I say the top of where it all started, I mean my YouTube journey. I was suffering in silence, and I was encouraged to try to do something that can help somebody with the pain I was going through, okay? Now, like I said, it's not always good to give when you don't have, but when you start to give, you get a little bit of like this inner strength, and you start like building faith, because you're like, you know what, if I can do it when I feel like this, then oh my goodness, like, when I feel better, I'm going to be able to do this, right? So it's like a little positive encouragement to yourself. But it all started here, and I want you to know, if you're suffering in silence, don't give up, because there was times when I felt like giving up, and thank God I didn't give up. I really believe that if you were on top, you'll be back on top, and if you've never been on top, this suffering is going to produce something in you that is going to be so unbelievable. It's going to push you into purpose, and it's going to be totally worth it. God's going to give you double for your trouble. As always, my name is Justin Soltanos, and if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing today and hit that bell button so you can receive up-to-date notifications when these videos are posted. We're always working to become the best physically, mentally, and spiritually, a full systematic approach to health and healing and just overall well-being. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, share it with a friend, somebody that needs it, and we'll see you for another video here real soon.